What's up, everybody? Sewer Badger here, back at it with some more CTL casts. In this series, I've got something special for you. This is set 5, the highest set you can possibly attain in the CTL. And in this series, we have Nopret versus Patches. And in this game 1 site delta, we're gonna see what both of these players have for both of us. Nopret rocking that hero portrait is friggin' awesome. And down here in the bottom right, representing PiGPan with the blue Protoss probes, it is Nopret. And up here in the top right, representing PTHeroes, it is Patches. Going to be opening up here with a everything all normal. A couple of Chetty Cathy dolls. Not really much to go on here as we see everything just going the way it supposed to be, except for this SCV, which seems to be on a very suspicious path. Let's see what that path is. Queued up to be over Patches? That's not your main base. Patches, that's the middle of the map. Patches, and it's gonna be a proxy. This probe walks in, it's gonna see no natural, gonna see this barracks. What is this probe going to do? It is going to see the gases. It is only going to see one gas. Patches, if he was going to drop his second gas, it's going to be a little late, but I don't think he's going to drop his second gas. 2 racks. My bet is Reaper. Nopret going to try to block this expansion, not knowing what's going on the map. To him, this just looks normal. Patches with the mind games. Looks like Nopret is going to get out, and this SUV is going to make, like he's going to make a CC. There's no CC on the way. Not enough money, and we see it's going to be started here. It's going to be a factory before the second Reaper. As this Reaper comes out across the map, we'll start to get our first interaction of the game. We'll start to see the defense and the game sense of our Protoss player. Patch is looking to be a little more aggressive. Probably going to be building Cyclones out of that, with the recent patch being the Cyclones being able to produce out of untech labbed factories. However, a supply block for a moment is going to stop him from building his next Reaper, which is going to slow things down very uncomfortably for Patches, who's going to lose his first Reaper. But there's 2 more on the way, both almost finished, or second one's about halfway done. As this factory finishes up, we'll see whether or not it's a Hellion or a Cyclone. I think it's going to be a Cyclone based on the positioning of this. Yep, and we see the Cyclone. This Reaper over here at home, just waiting for this Adept that's going to be shading across the map, going to be scouting for a natural. Maybe hoping to see some probes, see some SCVs. Going to get bounced by that Reaper grenade. And it looks like Patches is trying to pull off that micro, where the Adept just barely doesn't have enough range to hit that Reaper. On the other side here, the first Cyclone is almost finished up, and the third barracks is going to be plopped down right over here. More Reapers on the way, another Cyclone behind that. Let's see what our friend here has got, and he looks to be going for a 2-gate blink setup. So we're probably going to be seeing some Colossus pretty soon here. The Cyclone going to catch this Adept, and this is going to be very hefty loss, as this battery is almost finished up. A battery up here in the main. It's going to keep those probes safe for the time being. The second pylon battery in that battery is going to keep it safe for against getting sniped. Still, this is not... Oh, and the surround goes down on those Reapers. Losing 2 Reapers this soon is going to be really uncomfortable for Nopret at this particular point in time, as this battery finishes up just in time to heal the Stalker, allowing him to seal the defense. These 2 Stalkers up here are going to be separating the Reaper and the Cyclone. But this Reaper isn't alone. He's got 2 of his best friends helping him along. And as this probe dives in, he dies. Rip in peace. This pylon going to be scouting for some drops, and is going to keep the main safe. Thus far, Nopret has held, and I would not be surprised if we saw expansions coming up for patches. Who knows this is held? He has gotten 5 probes. He is so far behind on workers, though I don't even think mules can really keep up with that. Army supply slightly favoring patches, but that's an army supply that isn't as efficient as these stalkers. As soon as Nopret gets enough stalkers to start one-shotting Reapers, all of a sudden this becomes a lot more flimsy of an army. Another Cyclone, some more Reapers. I almost kind of wish he would stop building Reapers here. But who knows? Maybe this is a big brain play by Patches who knows something that the rest of us plebs don't. Looks like it's going to be a 4th base on the way over here. Oh, but a fatal blanket is going to be the death of all these stalkers as these Reapers start to catch up. They're going to try to target down all of these stalkers. This stalker, you're going to die right before it gets in. It's immortal, being chronoed for the life of it. And these Reapers are going to focus down on the stalkers and not the pylon. And it's going to be very difficult to hold against it. However, Pro Pole is going to keep Nopret's army safe for the time being as these units try to focus it down. Super Battery is still going strong as these probes are dying. And he's going to try to focus down that sentry at the cost of all of his Cyclones. And as Nopret stays back at home, a little cautious, Patch is going to rotate, try to hop up into the main, see what probe damage you can get done. This battery keeping your probe safe for the second, but I don't think it's going to keep it safe for very long as these dive in, see what damage they can get done. I wouldn't mind going for this pylon. Canceling charge at this particular point would definitely slow Nopret's next push down. However, we're going to be seeing a heal on this pylon here, and as these Reapers get a lot of free damage, but that is no longer free damage as these Stalkers get a Reaper. All in all, not a bad trade, but by the same token, I don't think it's going to be enough to really hold off Nopret for very long. As this natural is finished up, starts getting muled, this 3rd is finished up, what is he going to do? These idle SCVs are really going to put a dent, and the full wall is going to slow him down even further as these SCVs look very jazzed up. That does not look like it's going to be fun for that SCV that's just standing there. Well, maybe it's fun. Who knows what SCVs do these days as more Reapers are being rallied across the map. Nopret's pushing across the map. So if Patches dives in here, tries to get some damage done, I don't know. You could force a recall, but a warp-in might just save that saves the pylon. But he is going to catch us immortal, which is going to be huge. Oh, fast recall up here in this. The main is going to force Nopret to pull back, giving Patches more space to develop, to build his army better. And these Reapers going to rotate around, try to poke in at this 3rd. However, they're going to be poking into a bunch of Stalkers, and he commits way too deep. He's going to lose every one of these Stalkers. As Nopret comes in, he blinks on top of them, but a few good grenades is going to keep a lot of them safe. However, he does lead them to the proxy spot, and he is going to lose a barracks. However, 2 barracks, 3 barracks at home, 2 factories, no starport yet. So, although this is, although the army supply favors Patches by about 5, I don't like it for him. As soon as Nopret gets Colossi out, this is going to be a very difficult fight for Patches to win at all. These Stalkers going to deal some damage to those Reapers as the Reapers hop down the ledge and gets a Stalker, but doesn't get another and loses 4 in exchange. So that's going to be about 200 for 125 50. So that is about 225 units resources different. However, these Stalkers are going to dive in. They're going to try to go for this command center, but oh my god, this is the worst bit. This is the worst thing that Nopret could have done to allow Patches back into this game. But he's still ahead on tech. Starport just now going down for Patches. More Marines out on the way. As long as Nopret on the other side of the map has a Colossus to deal with this, he is going to be in a pretty safe position, and it is in fact a third of the way done. On the other side of the map, these are look to be posturing as he floats out his third, going to try to keep it safe. Right now, Nopret needs to get some damage done. I almost wouldn't have minded if Nopret had just moved and not gotten better trades, but he lost all of those stalkers for free. That was really bad for Nopret. And that move allowed Patches to be able to push across the map without fear of retribution, as these siege tanks set up in a beautiful position on the other side of the map. Oh, this battery focusing on one of those stalkers is going to almost be the death of that Colossus. And these... Nopret, please stop blinking in on siege tanks. Oh my god, and that siege tank still lives on how much HP? 5 HP. These charge lots, however, are going to change that. Are going to rectify that and turn this fight into the favor of Nopret, forcing Patches to back off, losing all of his ability to, losing all of his staying power on Nopret's side of the map is going to force Patches to pull back. He's going to have to pull back as a warping comes in here. It's going to be just in time to defend it. Another CC started up over here from Fresh Mules started. If these charge lots get on top of these mules, that would be huge. And it looks like they are going to get on top of them. Two fresh mules are going to come down, and a bunch of these 3 SCVs go down as well. As an SCV comes into the main, this warp prism dealing heavy damage. It is going to be pretty difficult for Patches to hold on after this. Any worker damage, he is already behind 20 workers. That means that at this particular point in time, 6 more SCVs have gone down. And that just compounds the damage. 25 worker lead, 26 worker lead for Nopret, who is now going up to 70 workers and is majorly oversaturated at his third. Another Colossus finishing up. There's going to be 2 Colossus on the field. 4 charge lots going to be looking at those Marines like tasty sashimi. If you didn't know that, according to all the lore beards, Zealots do in fact enjoy the taste of Terran on our early Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday morning, right? No, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, isn't it? It looks like that Nopret's going to be coming in for a double prong as these stalkers come in, try to get some damage done, but this surprise siege tank on this side of the map is going to keep them safe, going to keep them from dying completely. However, that's more worker damage being done by Nopret, who is just at this point in a dominating position. He is up in army, up in workers. At this particular point in time, I don't think there's anything that Patches can do, save from a miracle, or Nopret just blinking all the stalkers into his Marines and siege tanks again and trying to focus down a CC and losing all of them. Is nothing you can do. This is a very uncomfortable position for Patches to be in, as Nopret, just with only a small section of his army, takes out most of that, but he evens up the army supply. But this is an army that can't trade well against Colossus. Patches has to trade well or get a very beautiful surrender. It looks like he's setting up to take a battle over here, and these stalkers blink in. They get this medevac and they get the siege tank, but at this point it's a bunch of dead units. If you can get them out, that would probably be the biggest win, as he trades admittedly, he trades pretty poorly here, but I mean, after all, what was that? Was 3 stalkers of Colossus? That's 525, 825. That'd be about 1,000 resources versus much less, which would be approximately about 400 resources for Patches. That is incredibly devastating. As this charge lot run by comes in over here, this charge lot setup over here is going to be a prelude to the end for Patches, as this army just cannot trade well against what Nopret has. And as the army over here tries to clean up these zealots, dealing way too much damage are these zealots, and over here at the front, everything dies, and Patches is forced to leave. Nopret taking game number 1 in here in this best of 3. Gonna hop on to game 2. We're gonna see what goes on. It's gonna be Alcyone. Patches rocking the Patches profile. Nopret with the hero profile. PiGPan versus Platinum Heroes. And story age, I don't know. Nopret down here in the bottom right. PiGPan it is. With the blue probes, it is Nopret. Up here in the top right with representing PTHeroes, it is Patches. Hold on a second. Alright. Of course, legendary, an absolutely legendary player. Able to contend with Pig himself, the legendary caster of the Sewer Mermaid. I definitely want to get a hold of some of those replays, cast some Florencia. That would be pretty awesome. This SCV currently a few seconds late on that barracks, I think. I think that's a late barracks. This SCV coming across the map. It looks like it's going to get spotted as soon as this probe reaches the watchtower. Yeah. Gets spotted. And does Nopret see it? He does not notice it. Oh no. Nopret. No. It's not like this. It looks like he's going to be scouting in that main, going to be counting gases. He is going to see that it is in fact a similar opener to before. What's going to happen here? He's going to try to block the expansion. I think he's still got about 20 seconds on that before Terran starts looking for an expansion. Doesn't he? Maybe it's right now. I don't know. I don't remember the timings for Terran. That being said, with my Terran, I mostly just proxy and pray to God my opponents don't really see what's going on. However, speaking of proxies, that's a cheeky little barracks. And that is the Donut Marine. I call him the Donut Marine because it's just, I don't know. I look at him and I think donuts. And it looks like Nopret is in fact going to scout this proxy. However, he doesn't know about the proxy factory over here. So Patches is going to get away with a little bit of murder here. You know, just a splatter of blood. No bodies yet. Okay, maybe he did. Okay, Nopret found the body, but he didn't find the splash of blood over here that really confirmed that what was going on. This Reaper going to be poking in here, going to be seeing what's going on. A second gateway on the way for Nopret. As Nopret starts to set up for a defense over here. However, that supply block is going to slow the heck out of Nopret. Slow the heck out of Patches. And give Nopret more time to really set up for this. Giving Nopret more time to build more units. Nopret? You know it's a proxy. Bruh. More units. That ain't gonna work. Can't telepathically speak through a screen as these Reapers dive in. They're gonna be putting some damage down on that pylon, but as this shield battery is forced to heal that. I wouldn't mind a second pylon being thrown down. He knows it's a proxy. He knows there's some aggression coming in. It is not an unsafe assumption to think that that Patches is going for a similar build. In fact, he could, if he decided to shade an adept over there, he could probably cancel it and scout what's going on before it happens. Right now, oh god, I love that term from, what was it? I think it was the Muslim. Called it backseat Benny, and that my inner backseat Benny is currently a raging alcoholic. But besides that, is currently looking at this. Oh, and he will not like it. As this robo is powered by this pylon that Patches really seems to really want to go for. So trying to power this robo off this, while placing the pylon way over here, it's going to be really difficult as Nopret pulls the probes. However, those are going to get kited infinitely. This pylon going to get targeted down, and it is going to really slow Nopret down once this pylon gets picked up, and that's unpowered. Once that finishes up, that's going to be unpowered. Nopret's going to be very slow on the Going to be very slow on being able to build his immortal as as Patches keeps microing his heart out, trying to get these stalkers, trying to deal whatever damage he can. 2 more stalkers are being warped in. I think at that point, I think about 6 stalkers, Nopret should start to trade well against. Should trade well against Reaper Cyclone. Another SCV coming across the map. Another SCV. Oh, okay, that's why they're headed across the map. I thought he was planning on all in there. It looks like he's going to be taking the gold base. Going to try to get some. Going to try to set up some damage, but these cyclones are now starting to stack up. And what does Nopret build? Let's see it. It's an immortal. I bet that's a warp prism. Up here in the main for Nopret, we see the reason why it is a dark shrine. Over on the other side of the map, we're going to be seeing 2 more factories coming down for Patches, who looks to be not yet close to a supply block, but over. Oh my God, I'm missing over here where these Reapers started trading well against Cyclones. In what world is this possible? As all of the stalkers come down, and these Reapers are free to have a field day. And those are some dead probes. Unable to really deal with this, Patches is going to be performing what we in the business like to call sewer macro, killing all of your opponent's workers so that you have more workers. And that's how you have better economy than your opponent. It looks like this, I think this immortal will not be able to get out in time. Doesn't look like it. No chronos coming down on it means it's going to be very delayed. As, yep, Prophecy rears its ugly head as this pylon starts to get powered up. I would not mind Patches diving in to there and trying to catch that. But it looks like he's ready for the economy. He's going to take all that juicy economy out of Nopret's hands as Nopret goes to try to do that mineral log trick, but is unable to do it as he forces Nopret to evacuate all of his probes, and as Patches starts to find this pylon. This could be very dangerous for Patches, as these 2 Dark Templar warp in, but they're on the run. That Artosis pylon going down is going to be so rough for Nopret, who's going to lose this. He's going to lose a lot of economy. Over here on the other side of the map, this DT doing the hero work. But I don't know. I mean, as heroic as this DT is, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Another DT gets recalled. This immortal comes to the front. Super batteries activated. Is ready for the defense. But this is a pylon's getting focused down. I would not mind a heal going down on it, but there's just nothing here for Nopret. Nopret, I think, is dead here. These Marines coming in are going to really confirm it. 4 Cyclones, several Marines. This is not an army you can really contend with as Nopret, who is going to have his DT scanned, killed, and as the last of Nopret's economy gets shut down, he is going to GG out. 3, 2, 1, 0, and kablooey. Okay, maybe I over-exaggerated a bit as the second pylon comes down. I would not mind a warp-in, but this warp-in, I'm not confident in it. Well, for sure, it can deal some damage, but this is gonna secure the win for Patches. It is 1-1. Patches taking game number 2. So hop into game number 3 of Nopret versus Patches. We're gonna see what's going on. In this game, Nopret, having been proxied twice, maybe feeling a little bitter. Doubtful though. Nopret's a pretty damn chill dude. Down here in the bottom left of Hecate, the chillest bro of them all, it is Nopret, representing PiGPan, representing freedom and bacon. And up here in the top right, representing Platinum Heroes, it is Patches. Having grown up on, what is it, Brood War? Yeah, it was Brood War at that point. I always see Red Terran as Minsk. You know, especially into the Wings of Liberty years, where you start to see more red Terran for Minsk. You know, start to see it as red bad. Wonder if Patches agrees. But who knows if he agrees, as he seems to be going for relatively standard fare, this SCV being sent on early. But it looks to be rallied across the map as he's doing a macro game. But Nopret says, the proxying is not done. And he sends a probe here. This probe has one purpose. You see that? A flicker? Foreshadowing of the future game. The pylon goes down. This probe, satisfied with having accomplished its deeds, is going to be pretty happy with himself. We'll see if it's Stargate or Robo. As this SCV comes in, sees no second pylon, but sees a lot of gas being mined. 14 of 16 probes. I think this is Stargate. Right now, Nopret spamming through his hotkeys, making sure everything's going all right. On the other side of the map, it is a Stalker instead of an Adept opener. This Reaper going to be scouting for that. But this probe, unable to fulfill its duty any longer, as it is dead by a Reaper's hand. This is CV going to be coming back here, and this bunker gets salvaged. We'll see what a response from Nopret is. Looks to be scouting about. Where is that probe going? I don't know. But here on the other side of the map, this Reaper has gone from your mama jokes to emotional damage as this Stalker comes in. You know you're really up emotional, up the bad side of Emotional Creek when even a Stalker steps in and says, "Hey man, that's enough." I don't know. I feel like there was a joke in there somewhere, but I lost it along the way. Just like my sanity. This Reaper going to be rotating around, going to try to jump back into the main, avoiding the Stalker entirely. But he's also going to miss the probe. Two Stalkers going to be joining up here. It's going to be a Void Ray first. However, I think an Oracle would have dealt a lot more damage. This is... he's expecting the Oracle. The Void Ray, however, no one just like the Spanish Inquisition, no one expects the Void Ray. As a Phoenix starts up behind it, these two Stalkers and a Void Ray are going to deal with damage they can as these... Ooh... Patches a little, Nopret a little shy here. These two Cyclones are going to put some damage down on that Void Ray. Void Ray down to 68 health is going to be very vicious to have to deal with. This Phoenix starting up, ready to go. Gonna look to could be his Chad self and do some lifts. Probably gonna lift a few of these Cyclones. Gonna try to get a cancel on that, but that Void Ray goes down and he's like, "Yeah, I lift, bro. Look at this. Look at my arms." And when push comes to shove, it turns out that Phoenix was in fact not able to lift. Do you even lift, bro? Got turned into, yeah. As he does just completely loses track of what he was supposed to do and lets his buddies die. So it turns out that Phoenix was not in fact a Chad. He was in fact just some random dude who hangs at the club. As it turns out, Patches is going to catch that second Phoenix as it gets out. First Phoenix, I believe, went down as a result of its lack of emotional support for his allies. As these Cyclones are all starting to gather up for Patches, there's going to be more Cyclones on the way. However, no, he's not quite supply block yet. Missile turret and the natural going to try to defend against any imaginary DTs. However, as a matter of fact, on the other side of the map, there is a DT shrine. That's a DT Shrine, boys. Immortal on the way, Stalkers on the way, Cyclones on the other side of the map. A Marine going to be poking in forward, going to see what's going on. This battery going to keep a lot of these things safe. However, as soon as Immortals are out, those Cyclones are on a timed life. Snipes a pylon but loses a Cyclone. Loses another Cyclone. Completely for free this time. There's another Stalker on the way. Another Immortal on the way. So as soon as that second Immortal pops, these Cyclones immediately fall off in effectiveness. On the other side of the map, it's going to be a third gas. Another Cyclone. Another Cyclone. A Reaper. And it looks like Patches is getting is going to help his Marine out with his stim addiction and be a procurement source for that Marine. Always supporting his buddy Marines. Patches, the guy to come to. SDT going to be coming in here. Another DT behind it. We'll see what they do for Patches here, as do for Nopret rather. As Patches seems to be on top of this one over here in the natural, but here in the main, that is going to be 4 SCVs going down, 5 SCVs, 6 SCVs. That is going to be 300 damage for 300 resources lost to 500. I'm not certain that's a trade, as these Cyclones come in and they're going to get a quick cancel on that and a kill on the probe. These trades just seem to keep on getting better and better for Patches. Is Phoenix up here in the main saying, I'm not like that last guy. I'm not like any ordinary Phoenix. I do dance classes. As he starts doing his dubstep, over here at the natural is going to be a bunch of Cyclones rooting around. It's bro over here to build a pylon, but it's going to get shot down by all those Cyclones. Well, at least that pylon, the probe accomplished what that pylon was supposed to do, and keep an eye out for those Cyclones. On the other side of the map, this Observer is perving on all of this. Let's check out the vision of Nopret. Was more Colossus on the way. Viagra upgrade almost finished. Charge also on the way. And it's going to be a Nexus. Third Nexus coming down again for Nopret, who doesn't yet quite spot the army on the other side of the map. Oh, he sees the move out. Now, what does he do? We're gonna see this all from Nopret's view. Our hero, I'm kind of, after having made that Stimpack joke, I am afraid to say heroine, but heroine, hero. I think heroine. I don't know. I'm kind of lost here myself as to what I'm supposed to be saying there. And as that pylon finishes up, it is going to be giving Nopret a lot more view, and he's going to see that giant red splotch coming in over here. A scan comes down, going to see that the army is in fact there in that Liberator. Looking pretty beautiful over there, going to be positioned pretty perfectly, as that Observer keeps seeing everything, and Nopret is going to hang out in tank range. I don't like this battle for Nopret at all. Two force fields going to limit the amount of concave that Patches is going to be able to have. However, a lot of damage being thrown down onto those Immortals and Stalkers, meaning that Nopret is going to fall behind an army and is going to take the half gold base. However, I hate this fight absolutely. Oh my god. Oh, this is going to be a Terran's wet dream. Just hoping that the Protoss just F2A moves into your tank, and hoping he just takes his Colossus and runs it into your tank and loses it basically for free. Nopret. Where's the magician? What? Why? Nopret gonna be punching again. Again, I mean, we don't really see what he sees. He doesn't see what we see here. So to be fair, he isn't exactly certain on what's really going on. He's going to be setting up a concave, quickly going to be establishing a solid front as he sees that the spotting pylon gets caught. Warping pylon for the DTs. As those siege tanks start sieging up those batteries, it's going to be in a pretty desperate position. Over here in the natural, pretty oversaturated. Over here, this Marine and the Cyclone unable to be contested by these Stalkers. It looks like he's going to try to dive in. If he could get those upgrades and cancel them, that would be huge. As this Colossus finishes up, there's going to be a slow down +1, and there's going to be Patches. Let's check out the upgrades here. Patches is looking to keep them all on an equal upgrade basis as this flank comes in. However, equal upgrades are not going to be enough to save this push. Nopret taking a beautiful fight. I feel like this series has always been Nopret not being able to take, maybe not taking the most consistent fights, but most certainly taking the best fights when it matters. Three Marines going to be running over here, going to try to get some damage done. However, those Stalkers are going to really just put an end to that, to those shenanigans. But he does get 2 workers before he loses 3 Marines, which is pretty. I'd say that's a trade that I'd be willing to take. Patches got to be feeling pretty desperate about his position, though. +1 started up for him just now. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, let's go back to everyone's camera. This +1 is going to be finished long before Patches +1, and you do not want to be sitting on top of a horse with an upgrade disadvantage against a Protoss, especially as a Terran, as this Protoss army seems to be repositioning, trying to take the best engagement. However, Nopret sees it once. Does Nopret see it twice? We'll see. Let's see what he's paying attention to. Nopret sees it again, a red dot, and he sees it again, and he sees, oh my god. As the run by goes into the natural of Nopret, going to be causing some damage here, going to be forcing a lot of those Marines caught in the middle of that. However, a recall is going to come down on this army, and it's going to whiff. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, it is going to be the Stalkers being caught out. But without Blink, he's not going to be able to retreat very well. He's going to lose a bunch of those Stalkers. As Patches snags a few of them, loses 17 SCVs. So this is a very dire position for Patches. He is all in at this particular point in time. He is completely all in, and there's nothing. There's no way that Patches is going to win a macro game from here. He cannot contest Nopret, as he's demonstrated in the and all throughout the series. Patches' strength is catching his opponent off guard and then pressing his early advantage to an eventual victory. However, Nopret's main strength is just playing a macro game, being more defensive, maxing out, eventually getting a better army, and that's what he's doing. He's got 77 army supply to Patches 70. 62 workers to Patches 30. I don't think that Patches should be trying to play a macro game from here, and I don't think he is. As we look at everyone's cam, we're going to see that there is, in fact, the boys are pulled. But he's going to run right into a perfect concave of Protoss. Patches over here looking to be in a very uncomfortable position. However, he does fend off this army as Nopret rotates around. Patches is going to be trying to defend against this. Going to try to go for the base trade is Nopret. I think this is the best move right now. His army vastly outclasses Patches' army in terms of trading power, and in terms of raw production, Protoss is always going to be up, and especially, I mean, Nopret is also up 2 bases. So I don't see how Nopret loses this. Patches is going to be rolling on around here. Another beautiful concave going to be set up over here. These Liberators being positioned forward here. These siege tanks being positioned. It is all just positions here. If Nopret comes in from the front and the back, that is just going to be very uncomfortable for Patches, who, it doesn't look like Nopret is going to be coming in. Stalkers again running into siege tanks, which seem to be a theme in this series, and he's going to lose all of them. for 4 tanks. More charge lots as DT doing God's work at this point because there is no detection for Nopret, for patches. Oh, he's got a scan. He can scan, but he doesn't look like he's going to be able to. He's going to be able to capitalize much on it, as these 2 Colossus are finishing the job. Let's check out this Disruptor. See how many kills he got. It didn't get any kills, but GG will play both players as Nopret takes the series. 2-1. And that currently sits the week 2-1 in favor of our PiGPan heroes. And we'll be going into Drachnus versus Papa Panda in the next one. I hope you all enjoyed this cast. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I hope that you all stay safe during these times. Drink water, hug your loved ones, and have a wonderful week.